we're not going to go into great detail about linking personal accountability to the rewards and compensation system because that's very complicated. But an overview is probably appropriate. If we take a step through what we've looked at, we started off with a strategic cascade where we should be able to take a corporate strategy model and eventually we can cascade that down to, say, a business unit or multiple business units. Within any one of those business units, we can cascade that down to different levels. So in this example, perhaps we go to operations. From there, we'll go to the assembly area, and from there to the individual groups and teams, and from there perhaps down to the individual. So we've talked about this sort of cascade before where we're going from, big long-term 5-year plans down to what I need to do this week or next week. And somehow or the other, there should be a relationship between the strategies, tactics, and tasks. And each one of these, of course, can branch out into multiple iterations. So how does this move forward? Let's take a look at the phase 2 we did. We should be able to link those to the processes and projects at each level. And at each level, rate and rank how those processes support each of those strategic objectives, tactics, or tasks, what we did in Module 2 and Module 5. From there, we can actually link to people's performance plans and targets at each level. So this becomes part of the personal performance module that we're talking about here in Module 8, but also some of the just balanced scorecard metrics, which we talked about in Module 2. So now if we draw a line and begin taking a look at an individual, this individual may have some accountability based on his own or her own work. They may also get some shared accountability that comes from groups, teams, departments they're associated with. And then finally, there's some sort of at the corporate level that they contribute to, but there's no clear functionality and linearity there. So within that, perhaps at the individual level, there could be a metric like, accurate information. So that's going to fit down as an individual component of his performance or her performance report. Maybe there's group stuff like on-time delivery and so on. So that's going to go into a shared category. I share that with other people in the organization. And then finally, maybe, a broader shared one is quality. And at the corporate level, something like, overall profitability. So that begins to build at the framework. Now, of course, this is a balanced scorecard performance measurement structure. So out of this, we should be able to extract specific performance metrics at each level and run scorecards and dashboards to tell me how we're doing. So if we move this over, we can use some of those metrics. For example, at the individual level, maybe what we're doing is a green level on accurate information. At the group level, maybe, again, green level for on-time delivery. Quality, we're not doing quite so well. And profitability. So now what we have is a direct relationship between the strategy maps, the process, projects, targets, and the individual performance structure. What this means is if I change the corporate structure, all of these will eventually get changed as well, which means all of the performance targets as well as this individual's performance plan. So that's what creates the linkage and the agility inside organizations. And happy employees.